Now, from midnight tonight, the digital switchover will enter into its final stage. Like a long-running television saga, the analogue signal, which has been programmed to us all, will come to an end. In its place, a digital age.
The transmitter up on Winter Hill is the venue for the big switchover, and Diane has been up there to see for herself what's involved. But she is back with us now to tell us a bit more. Diane.
Well, tomorrow, as Gordon says, is a historic day in broadcasting because that Winter Hill transmitter, it is a massive regional landmark. Of course, it's played its part in TV history, from bringing us colour TV, the early days of BBC Two, then Channel 4 and Channel 5. But to the staff who worked there over the years, it was simply a great place to work. If it has to be said, a unique one.
Two new BBC Two transmitters open today, so we begin by welcoming everyone who hasn't been with us before to Late Night Lineup.
Winter Hill, the transmitter, has been broadcasting programmes to the northwest throughout the 60s and 70s, right through to the present day. And during that time, the transmitter has hardly ever failed. In those early days, it was people like these who kept your TV on air at all costs. And so on the eve of the switchover, we got Bill Learmonth, senior engineer, Doreen Tatlock, station clerk and all-round Jill of all trades, and the all-important station cook, Marion Ison, who whipped up 3 meals a day plus snacks, back together to reminisce.
But what surprised me was you even worked on Christmas Day.
I did, yes, yes. There wasn't many in. I think there was only 2 engineers in, and a driver and me. So it was quite easy, really.
And did you do the full Christmas dinner?
Well, no, I didn't, because the wives told me that I had to do a Christmas dinner, because one would be waiting for them when they got home, you see. So I was warned off that.
That huge mast, which is 1,500 feet tall, was erected in 1965, a huge feat of civil engineering at the time.
Well, Doreen, I'm going to take you back, what, 18, 19 years?
18.
This was your office?
Yes.
Go on, get back and sit in your chair.
I haven't got to do any work, have I?
No, you don't. You've skied up.
Yes, yes. It was very hard work going uphill on Langloafing, as they call it. But the station, one of the relay stations was off, so nobody had any pictures, so we needed this little part, which none of the engineers came with me but told me exactly where it was. And the snowdrift was, you know, it used to come under the canopy here, and you could only get round the side of the garage, and everything else was snow, so we managed to get in.
Bill Learmonth did 2 tours of duty up here in the 60s and then again the 70s.
You lived through and worked through so many significant changes in television. The move to colour television,
yes.
New channels like Channel 4, and
yes.
now onto the digital switchover.
Yes.
What was it like in those exciting times?
Well, at each stage it was probably about as exciting as this is now. They're very, very similar. We go from VHF black and white to 4 times as high in frequency, a big transmitter in here, transmitting beautiful colour pictures. And it was new, and we thought to ourselves, we're lucky if we can make this work, but it did. Well, I think it did.
This small outpost on the top of Winter Hill has seen history made several times. But it's thanks to the likes of Bill, Marion and Doreen and the staff who currently work here that we have the television service that we sometimes take for granted. However, in spite of its size and its impressive history, there is still a chance that some of you could lose North West Tonight on BBC One tomorrow when that analogue signal finally switches off. Does that sound familiar? Well, if you're watching us on Freeview, BT Vision or Top Up TV, you might find you're getting your news from Wales or the Midlands instead. So what on earth can we do about that? Well, John Askew is from Digital UK. It does sound familiar, John. What's the worst case scenario for people first thing tomorrow morning?
It does. I think the first thing we should say is some people may have no television at all. And I don't want them to worry about that. It may be that they're watching one of the local relay transmitters and it hasn't come back on. We expect Winter Hill to come back on perhaps at 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe even before that. But then all the relay transmitters need to be worked on as well, and they may not come back on until later in the day. So don't panic if you haven't got any TV. But if you're not watching North West Tonight by this time tomorrow night, then you need to give us a ring to let us know, because we can probably help you with that.
OK, well, Can you help me with this? Because I want to be sure that tomorrow I can watch North West Tonight on BBC One. And that's been a problem for people finding it, hasn't it?
It has.
How do you do it?
Well, we know that lots of people find retuning difficult, but it's really not difficult. Press the menu button and you should hopefully get a menu appear on the screen. There it is. Go. And on this particular model you need to select channel search, so you go down with the down arrow until you get channel search.
So it's quite logical, isn't it?
It's quite logical.
Should be quite logical, and they'll help you out.
Of course, it isn't going to go to the right one.
No, that's probably our batteries in there are probably running down.
That's right.
But you're trying to find channel search.
When you get, well, either channel search or retuning, installation, whatever it happens to say, different models have different words, but they all mean the same thing. When you get to that, press the OK button and it will ask you whether you want to do perhaps a manual retune or an automatic retune.
What do you suggest?
Well, I would suggest an automatic retune, let it find all the services that it can, and it may put them in the right order, but because some boxes will see services from lots of different transmitters, you may need to do a manual retune and just put in the services for Winter Hill or the local relay that you're watching. To find the right channel numbers, give us a call or look at the website and you put in your postcode and it'll actually tell you what channel numbers you need to enter in the box.
So really the thing to do is to write down the number, the telephone number. It's on your screen now. You can get that down and you can keep that by your phone, because tomorrow morning, if you do have any problems, there's no such thing as a daft question, is there, if you call the helpline?
No, every question is a sensible one. People shouldn't feel worried about it. There's lots of help available. Ask family and friends or neighbours, because they're probably Freeview viewers. They know how to do it. They've done it before. Get them to help you. Ask your local retailer, go to the website or go to the helpline, ring us up, tell us the make and model of your box and we'll take you through it stage by stage.
In a word, is it going to go smoothly?
I think it is going to go smoothly. Certainly hope so. I've got fingers and toes crossed.
So have I. Well, if you want help, if you do lose your favourite regional news programme tomorrow, the teams at your BBC local radio station will have the very latest news and advice first thing tomorrow morning. But if you want some face-to-face advice, then go to your BBC local website. They've got a list of almost 40 digital drop-in centres operating around the whole of the North West, so you can find the nearest one to you and pop in. Then, of course, as John did say, you can get the latest retuning advice from Digital UK. The phone lines open from 6 o'clock in the morning, 08456 50 50 50, or you can try their website, digitaluk.co.uk/retuning. Thank you very much, John. But what I do know is, if it doesn't go well, I'm sure you'll let us know as well. Back to you.
Yeah, you certainly will.
Absolutely. And if all that fails, I'll give you Diane's mobile number at the end of the programme, because she's obviously an expert now.
Well, you're now on top of it.
I'm fully across it.
You know what you young uns are like at changing things, you know.
Oh, yeah.